I mean, should we talk about the news of the week, though, which we spoke a little bit about earlier at the top of the episode? The
Game stonks.
The game stonks drama. I mean,
yeah.
How do we encompass this quickly?
I don't want to spend like too long on this because I think by now, if you've been interested in it, you've likely read up on it. But
yeah,
the long and the short, the long and the short of it is basically GameStop has been in dire straits for a long time. No one can argue that. So what that means in the economic world is lots of companies take out short positions on them, which essentially means they are borrowing shares and giving them out for sale with the expectation that the price will drop. It's a very risky investment because your potential losses are infinite, because your losses are based on how high the thing goes, and your gains, the biggest gain you can get is if the share drops to zero.
Like crashes,
So essentially, GameSpot stock was shorted beyond 100%, which makes no sense to me. I don't know how you can short more stock than is issued.
Exists,
But this opened up the door for some people on Reddit who said, we're gonna stick it to these hedge funds that basically dictate when a company is no longer worth anything by taking all these big short positions on it. And they started buying up tons of stock. And what that meant was that these short positions all have a time limit on them. So eventually they have to be closed. So the more stocks that were being bought, it was driving up the price and putting pressure on these hedge funds with short positions to be like, we're going to have to close out for a loss, which in turn rockets the price up even more. So what it's led to is people making tons of money. The GameStop's share price was like $5 at the beginning of this year. It's now, yesterday it closed at nearly 400.
Which is just, I mean, that's
it's
in the space
astronomical.
Of like a week.
Yeah, it's increased something like 1,600% in January alone. To the point where the American government is looking at it. It's stocks should not be this volatile, but this to me is really, it's blown the door wide open for regular people like us as to how ridiculous the stock market really is and how hedge funds seriously take advantage of it. And now that regular retail investors are getting involved, now the hedge funds are like, whoa, this free market idea, it's actually kind of a bad idea. Yeah, it's all sorts of bullshit.
Some great memes that have come out of this.
Yeah, my favorite one is still the where it's like, rich people, you should learn to invest your money. Poor people, okay. It's like, rich people, no, stop. Yeah. It's fantastic. But that's what it's showing. It's showing that, people always talk about capitalism and the free market as this means for anyone to get rich. Yeah. But in actuality, it's a means for already rich people to get richer, like they did during the pandemic. Most companies and very rich, people like your Jeff Bezos and your Elon Musk, they all made trillions of dollars.
They made a lot of cash money.
While people were like suffering, and now that the people suffering are going, well, I can actually make quite a bit of money here very quickly.
They're like, no.
On the backs of hedge funds bleeding. It's like, no, you're not allowed to do that.
My goodness.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Well, on that whole Elon Musk thing, there was also news this week that he tweeted about Cyberpunk 2077 and I think their share price also, their stock
rose
surged
19% just because he tweeted about it.
I'm like, how can one person have so much power with one tweet?
But he's part of this thing because he tweeted about GameStop.
Exactly. Yeah.
He tweeted about Dogecoin and that went up 500% afterwards. It's like,
I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, it's such a weird thing because I mean he already is like one of the world's richest people, right? But I'm like, the best financial advice I can give anyone today is like, just whatever he tweets about, just snap up stock of that because for some reason...
I just have alerts on his Twitter, like be very quick. Yeah.
So, I mean, I mean, how much did Cyberpunk rise? You said...
19%, yeah.
It's like
it was their biggest rise since 2015
tweet.
Or something, yeah. And I mean, when the whole WhatsApp, Facebook thing was happening earlier this year, he tweeted telling people to move to Signal, which is like a messaging app. But Signal's open source. It is not a company. Yet there was a company on the stock exchange called Signal, and their share price rose astronomically.
They must
It's
have
all
been
a game.
so
It's
confused.
nonsense. It's all nonsense. It's ridiculous. But that's like the TLDR version of what's going on. I will not advise anyone to invest in something they do not understand. But it is a fascinating thing, and I implore people to read up more about it, because I've learned a lot about the stock market just through this debacle, and I've learned how fucking nonsense a lot of it is. But I think it's an interesting time. To me, this is an inflection point in history, because it's really turned people's perception of that sort of wealth on its head. And you've got a lot of big tech and financial people saying this is a turning point in how Wall Street operates. So from that perspective, it's just fascinating to watch.
Yeah, and I just think it's what I find so amusing is that it just got caught up in the world of gaming.
Yeah,
like
it was
wasn't
just pure
some other
chance.
obscure company or whatever. It's like, no, it's like gamers versus Wall Street. It feels.
God, and CNBC is, they're like, gamers are investing in the stock because they're nostalgic for the old days of gaming. It's like, are you fucking stupid? Like, you guys are a financial channel, like one of the biggest in the world, and that is why you think people. It's been a roller coaster of like bad media, bad takes all around. It's seriously something.
It's weird.
But yeah, do some reading on it, because it is. I find it incredibly fascinating. So yeah, it's cool. What else?
There's a fair bit of news this week.
There is. The Epic Store released some stats on, I think, just its year of 2020. Just some quick stats for you. Quick math.
Nice.
Monthly users rose from 32 million in 2019 to 56 million by December 2020, which is around half of what Steam has, so that's not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
There are now over 160 million Epic Store users, with a peak concurrent rate of 13 million in 2020. I think I don't know what Valve's peak concurrent rate was. But yeah, let's see. There was something about the free games that really blew me away.
Stats about the games they give away.
Yeah, it was like how many were claimed. Where's that stat now?
I mean, that must be astronomical.
749 million free games.
That is
claimed. That is a lot of money.
I mean,
that is a lot of games.
I have to believe that when Epic gives away games, right, they're reimbursing the publishers or developers somehow, like surely.
I think so. If I'm not mistaken, the payment to the developers who put it out free is based on how many people download it.
But I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Battlefront 2, that alone took 19 million. To the point where it crashed the game's servers. Like,
oh my gosh. So just imagine, for argument's sake, that Epic Games gives the developer even just $1 for every game, which I don't know what the deal is, but that means that they could have given away, like hypothetically, $750 million to developers, which is like...
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of cash moolah.
But at the same time, they earned $700 million in revenue just on purchases made on the Epic Games Store.
Yeah. So
and $265 million on third-party games on the Epic Games Store.
It's interesting. I think it's quite an interesting shake-up with Epic on the market now.
What would you guess are 3 of the most played games on the Epic Store? I've got a list of the 10 here, most popular titles.
Is it free games or games just
any
on
games?
Epic?
Any games?
Fortnite.
Yep.
Fortnite has to be up there. Rocket League.
Yep. Nice.
Really?
Yep.
Is it? Where's that on the list?
They don't rank them from 1 to 10, but it's on the list.
Okay, it's on there. Am I just guessing 3 on that list of 10?
Just
Rocket
guess 3.
League and Rogue Company.
Wow, you nailed it. Damn.
Really?
Yeah, Rogue Company's on here.
Yeah.
The other ones are GTA 5.
Okay. Oh, because they gave that away at one point as well. Yeah.
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Wow. Okay, that I did not expect.
Borderlands 3.
Shit. Okay.
Satisfactory.
Okay.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Dang.
SnowRunner.
SnowRunner.
Yeah. And
Good Lord.
Godfall. Of all
What?
things. Yeah, of all things, Godfall.
Okay, so I really was just very lucky with my free-to-play titles.
Satisfactory was one I was also like, yeah, that makes sense there. But some of the others, I'm just like, Borderlands 3 and Tony Hawk. I'm like, okay.
SnowRunner.
People love that shit.
SnowRunner?
Yeah. Isn't it like Mud Tracks? It's like a very physics-based truck simulator thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know there's a local streamer called Entity who he streamed it a lot last year, and I popped in and out. And from what I understood, it really was like you taking cargo from A to B. But geez, like I did not expect that to be in the top 10.
It's very physicsy based. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Hilarious. Some quick news.
Yeah.
PlayStation 5 exclusive Returnal has been delayed from
to April.
Yeah, 30th of April from the end of March. So that game looks really fun. I'm actually very keen to play that. Yeah,
it looks real good.
Looks really good. Cyberpunk 2077 got a hotfix issued, which fixed a bug that was introduced with the game's latest big patch.
I mean, they also removed a mod that allowed players to have sexy times with Keanu Reeves. Apparently.
Yeah, it's true because the official modding tools for the game were released, and of course, people started shipping the in-game model of Keanu Reeves with whatever they wanted to. So
hilarious.
Yeah, maybe I'm sure that's like a legal thing for them. Just like guys, please, we're gonna get sued by Keanu Reeves, please.
But that's so like, it's such a weird thing because like. The moment you tell the internet to not do something, they'll find ways to do it.
Streisand effect, 100%.
Yeah, so I don't see that problem going away, unfortunately.
What else? There's a new Animal Crossing New Horizons update that was teased. There's an event called Festival coming on February 15th
sometime.
With a peacock pave. She'll be in town doing, exchanging things for unique items. Then they also teased a big crossover event with Mario in March, which will be around the game's 1-year anniversary. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's nice. On Nintendo news, they also revealed a limited edition Monster Hunter Rise Nintendo Switch.
Yes, it looks really good. It looks really, really good.
It's a real pretty Nintendo Switch, let me tell you. Like, I always... So, for example, just on Animal Crossing, I thought the Switch was nice. It had the custom Joy-Cons, the Animal Crossing colors, it's like that... Was it the blue and green? Like
that very, like, pastel blue and green.
Yeah. But, like, the Switch itself is very, like... I suppose... minimal in the sense of like what they actually did to it, but like in a good way. But this Monster Hunter Switch looks like they went all in on like the Joy-Cons. It's still like the gray, but it's got Monster Hunter decals on it, and the actual dock itself is like black and gray.
It's like this really nice gold adornment on black.
Yeah,
it's really
super nice.
I also really like the Pro controller that's coming with it.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a surprise actually that it's coming with a specific Pro controller. Also really nice, that black and gold look. So,
it's really good. I like it, and that's coming. I think it launches with the game
March 26th probably.
Cool. So I think that's news.
Yeah, I think we can leave it there. There's just like 3 very quick fire things. Ninja Theories, Bleeding Edge is dead, basically. that's the long and the short of it. Yeah, they're
10
closing
months.
the servers.
No, they're not. They're not. They're just stopping content.
No, they're just stopping development. Sorry.
So you'll still be able to play, but there's no additional content coming to that game.
Who's still playing? Is that what you're going to ask?
Well, yeah, that, and I mean, I never got the chance to play the game properly because I was meant to review it and I couldn't connect to any games.
To anything, yeah.
Yeah,
which is
it was
just
the
wild.
only at least Microsoft game that I could literally not connect to anything. I played that
Yeah.
tutorial so many times, so it's
Yeah.
sad because I think the style of the game was pretty cool. So
Yeah. And just two more quick things. Game Pass has 18 million people on it, which is
damn, that's
kind
a lot of people.
kind of wild. Yeah, I think it is like maybe around Christmas time or just before Christmas they want 15 million. So the service is just continuing
It's ballooning.
to grow, which is
Just keeps going up.
Yeah. And then the last bit of news, Apex Legends Season 8 is launching, I think it's February 2nd, I think, or 3rd. And they showed off the latest champion who's called Fuse.
Yeah, what does Fuse do? I've been seeing a lot of happiness.
I don't know all of his abilities, but I think his ultimate is basically like not a grenade launcher, but it's like a big AoE something. But I think what people are excited for is that King's Canyon is coming back. But I think it's been changed. You know how Fortnite's had it before where like they blew up one part of the map or something?
Yes.
I think King Canyon's had that sort of change where it's still the map you know and love, but there are some cosmetic changes to it and there are some differences to it. And they're also adding a new rifle. It's basically like a semi-automatic long-range rifle, which is pretty cool because I don't think the game has that. Well, it does, but it's got like the G7 Scout. But this rifle, I don't know what it's called, but it looks like it packs more of a punch.
I need to really play Apex again because
I played a little bit over December, and let me tell you, Apex is still real good. Like that, it's probably still my favorite battle royale.
I haven't played it in so long. I really should get back into it because so many people that I know just keep playing it consistently and just really enjoy it.
I can't believe it's on season 8. Like that's
crazy,
shows how long the game's been around for now.
When did it come out? 2019?
2 years? Yeah.
Yeah, so almost because it like surprise launched in February of 2019. So two years, man.
Yeah.
Holy
where's
shit.
the time gone? Yeah. Okay, but I think that's it. That's the gaming news.